My name is Chris Featherstone with Austin Auction Gallery, Austin, Texas here, and about to offer at public auction some exciting items from Richard Garriott's Britannia Manor collection. And Saturday morning we'll open at 8 and the auction itself will start at 10. It's all interesting items. There have been a lot of interest in that stagecoach, a lot of interest in that. We've got some old microscopes, and the automatons that he has are just really different and unusual, and you don't see them. We've had people call from England wondering where they came from in our auction, but it was because Richard is an international figure that he brought them back from Europe.
A lot of that material was stuff that was very difficult for me to let go of, just because as a collector, none of those pieces are things that that I was ready to discard, shall we say. But some of my favorites would be things like the hand-cranked grinder organ was a favorite. The stagecoach was a favorite, although more difficult to put together in practical ways. Both the Model Ts, while I sold off a lot of my sports cars years ago, I kept the Model Ts just because I really enjoyed those vehicles, and some of the space paraphernalia, and especially that large string orrery is a particularly rare, particularly valuable piece.
What I was saying is, I think what interests, or partially what interests Richard in all these, is that this is somebody's imagination come to life, just like his games are his imagination created into a new world. This is someone's imagination come to life. We've even got the original sketches that this person did before they created the piece. Yeah, this is an upstairs storage.
For me as a collector, it's not age, it's not rarity, it's not value. For me as a collector, it's inspiration value. Every one of the pieces that I've collected because it represented either a scientific breakthrough or allowed you to tell the story of a certain point of creative process or invention. And the way I use my collections is not as museum objects to sit on a shelf that won't be touched. I actually am a big believer that the best way to put these things to use is to put them to use. Orreries is a great case study. When you watch a mechanical orrery work, and you can see the planets moving around the sun in their proper orbital periods, and occasionally the moons and things orbiting around as well, it gives you a true sense of not only the 3D dimensionality of the reality of what's happening up in the heavens, but it also teaches you immediately about the kind of mathematical and mechanical purity of what's happening through physics. And so I think as a teaching tool or as a learning tool, orreries are at least as powerful and perhaps more powerful in some ways than even the most modern cutting-edge 3D animations you might see on television.